I am CharLee Simons. Hello, my friend. I'm glad to be talking to you again. I missed you. It's been about 23 minutes since the last show I posted. I like to work. I like to do things. I like to introduce people to you, especially the ones that nobody else in the media is talking about. There's one guy I became friends with. Wow, this was all during the COVID shutdown. I'll have to ask him about it, but I think it's been like at least 4 years now. And I was brand new on the whole, always been in the media, radio and TV, but I was brand new on the podcast thing. His name is Sam Anthony, and he had started up already as platform for people like me, out of work journalists, out of work media people, and broadcasters, talk show hosts, anybody and everybody, sports, baking, movie reviews, whatever, anything that the media no longer was doing or getting rid of us, come on over to yournews.com. And I've been there ever since. And I'm so glad I am. And I've introduced many people to him. And I've even had him on with them at the same time on shows so they could get an idea of the value and impact of it and how important it is for us to, as I said during the whole COVID shutdown, we got to start establishing our own way of not only communicating, but doing commerce. We've got to, because there's coming a time. I'm a follower of Christ Jesus. I'm a believer, and I actually, believe it or not, read God's word, including the book of Revelation. I know there's a one world government, new world order coming. Scripture shows it. What's going to happen to the United States of America? That's the gray area that I've had many guests on talking about that. And where does the media come into play? I've been telling you all along. The media is doing the devil's work just as quickly as possible, for his time is short. I was just reading in Ephesians about the devil is the prince, the power that rules the air. And the first 100 times I read that, I didn't really get it. Didn't make sense to me. Rules the air. The devil rules the air. And then the 101st time I read it, the Holy Spirit showed it to me plainly. Opened my eyes, my heart, my mind to it. What goes through the air? What I've been a part of my whole life. Broadcasting. Even if you're just talking about cable, through satellite. Satellite itself, of course, all going through the air. The devil rules the air. It's so blatant. I see little nuances and things even now under a Republican president where reporters will slip in little things like, let's say, talking about election fraud. Let's do that. 2020 election fraud, which, by the way, just me saying that right there got me kicked off YouTube talking about those kind of things. Facebook as well. Facebook deleted all my pages last year. So anybody who's saying, oh, no. Mark Zuckerberg said, he apologized. He said he's going to be kinder and gentler to the conservatives. What a load of crap. What a lie. We got to be establishing our own form of communication, keeping together, getting information, and commerce too. Got to. It's vitally important right now. And that's why I love yournews.com. Sam Anthony standing by. I'm going to get his thoughts on this right here. Here's one thing I want to talk to him about. Teachers. Let me bring that up. Teachers who celebrated Charlie Kirk's assassination now cash in with taxpayer-funded settlements.
Struck us, obviously, this exchange with one of the protesters about the murder of Charlie Kirk.
Yes.
Do you support what happened to Charlie Kirk?
Yes, I do.
You do support? So you support assassinating people who believe what I believe?
I support assassinating fascists.
So what is a fascist?
Girl, I'm not here to have this conversation.
They have no idea. They have no stinking clue. Look at that.
That was pretty unbelievable. I mean, you point blank asked, do you support what happened to Charlie Kirk? That protester said, yes, I do.
Yeah, it was horrific. As someone who deeply cared about Charlie Kirk, he was a great partner of us at Students for Life. It was horrifying to see someone celebrating that violence. This is a trend that we are seeing. There was a December 2025 Gallup poll that found that 30% of people 18 to 29 years old said that political violence is acceptable. This is insane, and this is a trend that we are seeing constantly on our work on college campuses as we're advocating for life. I have to wear a bulletproof vest on campuses now. We have to bring security in order to just have peaceful conversations about these hard topics.
So now, all the teachers that advocated that and celebrated it and loved it, and I've shown you many of those videos of teachers celebrating and using a lot of foul language and everything else. Teachers of your kids online. And a lot of us said, that's it. We're drawing a line in the sand. This is too far. We're calling your school district. We're calling the school where you work. We are calling and demanding that you stop, that you have to pay a price for the influence, this negative influence you're having on our children. Because they're following you on social media, and you know that. You know that. These teachers love to give out their little Facebook pages. I'm just, some dude going, I'm at the boardwalk getting ice cream with my husband. They love crap like that. And it's all under the guise of, it's free speech. Nah, it's freedom of speech. It's just my social media. Oh, well, I worked for some big broadcasting networks, ABC, CBS, Salem Media Group. And I didn't get to say whatever the hell I wanted if I was representing the company. If I were telling people on the air, here's where you find me on social media. And I was, because it's free advertising. And I'm a conservative, so imagine how it was for me with these big corporations and little companies too. Hey, CharLee, we saw that one post, what you said about Joe Biden. Would you mind pulling that down? Actually, that wouldn't say, do you mind? Pull that down. It reflects poorly on our business. And because of that, we're afraid we might lose advertisers because of it. Well, this is my own personal page. Yeah, but you represented us. That's a gray area I can't wait to get Sam Anthony's thoughts on. I just love this guy, and I think you will too. So let's get him in the mix right now. Ladies and gentlemen, for your dining and dancing pleasure on Do Not Talk, hit it. What's up, buddy? What's up?
I have to tell you, I really want to hear that gay talk you just did a minute ago. I started cracking up.
I lived and worked
with my boyfriend or my husband.
I'm at Pier 39. We just got off the cable car. It was so exciting.
My ass is hurting so much.
Because the benches were hard.
Yes, that's exactly why.
All right,
I'm crying.
They do it. I know they do it. I have a friend who's got a school-age kid who's now just getting into high school, and she's already a full-on conservative. I love her. Her name is Shelby. And she's like ratting out her own teachers, and these people, and they're saying, yeah, you can follow me here, you can find me there, and they'll accept the friend request. So every single time they post some of their crap, every kid sees it. So these teachers got fired, a whole bunch of them, during that whole Charlie Kirk thing, and I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. But look what's happened now, Sam. Public universities and school districts have agreed to pay more than $2.7 million to educators who were disciplined. Educators, what a joke. Over social media posts about slaying conservative activist Charlie Kirk, including a $1.9 million settlement approved last week as lawsuits alleging First Amendment violations continue to mount. NBC News reported Friday that public records show at least 5 educators have reached settlements with their employers over the past year, totaling more than $2.7 million, with a newly approved agreement accounting for the largest share. Now, is this something that the government has forced, or is this something that they just took it upon themselves to bring forward wrongful termination suits? That's a good question. Hopefully they answer it in this story. Former University of Tennessee professor Tamar Sharinian set to receive $1.9 million to settle a lawsuit accusing the school of violating her constitutional rights after officials sought to discipline her over social media posts criticizing Kirk following the assassination. The things that these people wrote are horrible. This woman called him a disgusting psychopath. His kids are better off living in a world without a disgusting psychopath like him. And his wife, well, she's a sick blank for marrying him. So I don't care about her feelings. This is what's going on. So is this a government thing? No, these are actually just these educators doing wrongful termination lawsuits and winning.
And so who pays? The insurance companies pay.
We pay ultimately. Of course we pay.
So it's the insurance companies. They
The
pay
insurance, and who do they pass the cost along to?
So I don't pay any insurance companies for anything, so I could give a rat's ass.
You
You think I'm
good
kidding?
on you.
I anyway, that being said, you can't teach these people anything. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. I invited some guy who was a left-leaning to come on my website as a contributor because I believe in free speech and I believe we should have both sides be heard. Flat out told me there's no way I'm posting anything on a site like yours that has conservative stuff. Now, by the way, that is literally 100% of them. So far, I've got 0, right? Mm-hmm. And the reason is because they just want nothing to do with any type of conservative content because it makes their stuff look stupid. Let's call it the way it is.
I think there's another reason too. It not only makes them look even more stupid than they actually already are, but they're also afraid. They're afraid of backlash from their own people because we see this with actual Democrats going on to conservative shows and then getting attacked for it because you're helping that side or you're doing this or you're doing that. I think they're afraid of their own people. That may be the case.
I'm just over it. So, I told you before, as far as I'm concerned, everybody gets what they deserve. If you don't pay any attention to these people, the mainstream media's got max 5 years. Okay. There's nobody that talks to more journalists than me. Nobody at Fox, nobody at ABC, nobody at NBC. I'm on with them all day, every day. None of them could get jobs. Go look at LinkedIn. Nobody's hiring. It's all going to creator-based platforms. And so I'm on Zoom calls with these people all the time explaining what we do and onboarding them. And it won't be very long before none of them exist. CharLee, none of them. Remember the network radio stations you work for? Okay. Mm-hmm. All of them are going to be gone. It's all going to platforms. So the good news is their voice is going to shrink. They're not going to have any in the next 5 years. And I'm going to be the biggest dick you could possibly imagine to them. Okay? So
when you're pointing the finger and laughing at them?
I'm like them. I'm like Antifa on the right. As far as I'm concerned, violence solves all problems. Okay? So you think I'm kidding. You talk like something to a point and then you just say, you know what? I had enough of this shit. So that being said, I don't want to get myself all upset, but you can't fix this. Okay, it can't be fixed. You can't fix a moron. You can't educate it out of them. They're there for life. The only thing you could do is put them on the table, tie their arms up, and lethally inject them and just get rid of them. Okay, that's the only solution. Otherwise, you're going to just get what you keep getting. I mean, look at Tyler Robinson shooting Charlie Kirk, and now these people are celebrating it. I mean, here's a guy that did not believe in violence at all, that loved everyone, that believed in Christ. He's a problem. We need to get rid of him. What does that tell you?
That's a tremendously large portion of our population that feel that way, though.
CharLee, you're smoking crack. No, it's not. Okay. It is a small portion of the population. It may be a large portion where you live. You live in Cuckoo Land. I live in Normalville. Okay.
Right.
Just leave and come around like-minded people. And then when you go to the store and you buy stuff, you're buying it from people that you like, that believes in the same beliefs that you have. You're living in the wrong world. Give California to the liberals. It's already bankrupt. Eventually, it'll just go completely out of business. All the businesses are leaving. It's the same with Detroit and Chicago. They're all coming to Florida. They're all coming to North Carolina. They're coming to Tennessee. They're coming to Texas and even Nevada. So You take away capitalism and none of them have anything. See, you have to understand, we don't need liberals to survive. They need conservatives.
Yes.
But they hate you.
What a great point. We're the ones
It's-
bringing in the money. We're the ones with the jobs. We're the ones propping up their little phony baloney
If
crap.
all liberals were fired tomorrow, business would go on as usual. They would just be going, but we need a job. We need a job. So then they'll hate you even more. Look, you can't help them. And what it really comes down to at the end of the day is I played ice hockey. Okay. I played pretty high levels, but wasn't good enough to go pro. Okay. I wasn't good enough and I couldn't make it to that level. So I'm, basically good enough to be worthless. Right. Well, not everybody could be an Elon Musk. Not everybody could be, a superstar, right? Not everybody can create music better than, Kenny Chesney, if you want to call it a good music, or, whoever. It doesn't matter. Pick one. The point is that there's some people that are just better than other people, and the cream rises to the top. And that's the way it is on everything. And there's some people that are just jealous about that, so they look to point fingers. It's their fault. But when you actually realize the amount of money that the rich are paying in taxes compared to the rest, it's like astronomically higher. I mean, what do you want them to do? Just pay it all? I mean, and so I got a better idea. Get rid of all taxes. Nobody pays anything. So the other part of the problem that I'm pissed about is the fact that nobody's went to jail for any of the crimes that were committed. Still. And now we're, a year and 7 months into this. And so I'm a little aggravated about that too. So this is where I said, I feel like it's ruining my life. It's making it worse. That being said, my thing about fixing it, I'm going to fix it. Okay. Because nobody else is. So you guys are the soldiers out there, but I'm the guy who has the playing field. I'm going to build this, and I'm going to build it off the backs of what they did for letting everybody go. And we're going to bring on 1 million news reporters, and we're going to control the next mainstream media. And what I say by control it, you want freedom of speech. You want them to be able to put content out there without any censorship. And that's the only way to solve this, short of a revolution. Revolution would be better. It'd be quicker. It'd be over. You get rid of all the crap, right? Okay. And then we can move forward. But so far, you're the only one that wants to join my military. So,
as we see in revolutions go both ways. And unfortunately, if you look back in history, even just 100 years or 125 years, it doesn't go the way of the right thinking, common sense, conservative person. Rarely ever. Russia, France.
Charlie, that ain't me. So
that ain't you.
That ain't me. No,
let's talk about though how much free speech do you have when you're working for a company? What do you think about that?
Well, if you're a representative of the company, you should, like when you were saying you were working for the radio station with the networks, I mean, you are a representative of them, so, and I get the fact they don't want to lose ad revenue. So I do understand that. When you're a school teacher and you're influencing the children, well, what if the parents didn't want that? So now you're getting into, so now you're basically pushing an agenda. This is where, school, we need to go away from public schools and go to strictly freaking independent schools, and school choice, the person picks their own school. It's a shame that we've gotten here, but now the universities are all just woke. They're not going to stop. And the only way you can get them to stop is you have to slaughter them. And I don't mean that in a way, I mean, you have to just come down so hard that they're just afraid to do it. And that's it. And so far, you live in Cuckooville, and you have a government that won't allow anybody to see anything, right? Transparency is a thing of the past. And they even went so far as to write laws that if you uncover a crime, it's a crime to uncover a crime. So
there's the CharLee Act.
You can't write this stuff any better. This is like a movie. I mean, I've seen the videos of the reels of this vigilante, that's coming up. I'm like dying to see this movie now. I think I may watch it tonight. That, you know what I'm talking about? What?
It's called Citizen Vigilante.
Citizen Vigilante.
The guy who produced it and directed it is, I guess, buddies with Elon Musk. So Elon posted it on X and said everyone can watch it for free because Germany has banned it, England, any place where they took in all these migrants from Islamic countries, they have banned that nobody can see this movie, which pisses me off. That makes me mad when you start telling me I can't watch something. Well, guess what I'm going to do now? I'm going to find a way to watch it. I did. A friend rented it. It's on Prime, Amazon Prime. A friend rented it, and we sat there and watched it, and I looked at her and said, this is truly a horrible movie. It's so bad. And there's only about 2 or 3 places where he makes a point about these Muslim immigrants or migrants coming in and how they're not assimilating, and it is ruining the culture in the country where they're invading, basically, all at the behest of the government bringing them in, and he turns vigilante. He's going to take them out, because for all the crimes are committed against we the people. Other than those 2 little messages, it's a piece of crap movie.
Oh,
it's
well, thanks for telling
bad.
me. I saved $6 tonight because I was going to go watch it. I forgot.
Go ahead and watch it anyway.
No, I'm not gonna spend
Army
$6
Hammer
to be
guy.
miserable.
Army Hammer should be the next James Bond, by the way. I'd love to watch it because he's just got the look. He's got the style. He was the only highlight of the whole Dad Blame movie. There's one portion of it where it's literally soft porn. Truly is. And I'm like, I can't believe this. This is like a truly bad black exploitation movie from the 70s. It's that kind of quality. It's just not good. Anyway, Governor Hairdo has now, of course, the Stop Nick Shirley Act, which is going to be going after guys like me, guys like Sam, but you're not in California,
not me.
so he can't touch you.
I'm just the platform.
But he can come after me. He can fine me. He can jail me for exposing fraud. And that, by the way, that bill was written by Mia Bonta. Mia Bonta is the wife who took the place of Rob Bonta when Rob Bonta got appointed, even though it's an elected position, got appointed by Governor Hairdo to be Attorney General of California. These idiots are passing laws to instead of going after. Thanks, Nick Shirley. Thanks for pointing out where all the fraud is. Now we know who to go after. Great job. We should give you an award for this. No. Very opposite. They've literally last minute, late night session. We got to craft a way to shut up these journalists, these little citizen journalists, and shut them down and make them afraid to even go after fraud. And it's happened. It's done. And now that idiot, Governor Hairdo, has signed into law an increase in sales tax. Sam, did you hear this? This is brand new. 11.25% sales tax now in California. This guy's supposed to be running for president. Why would he do something like that?
So he could show the rest of the world what he's doing in his state so he could replicate it over here. CharLee, look. As far as I'm concerned, I see nothing but opportunity here. You see it as a negative. I see it as a positive. CharLee, you'll never need another donation again. Go and uncover fraud, film it, put it up, put it on my platform, put it on X, get them to arrest you, okay? And eventually you'll have to go through a couple of years of courts, but you're gonna sue the state for millions. You'll probably get 5 to 10 million for that. It's worth it.
It worked for those crappy foul-mouthed teachers who were celebrating Charlie Kirk being assassinated and murdered. It worked for them. It won't work on our side, though.
Oh, yeah, it will. Oh,
but I like your idea.
That will absolutely work. I mean, it's freedom of the press, right? So nobody can tell me that you're not press. And now all of a sudden you uncover a crime as a news reporter and you can't. I mean, it's literally the First Amendment. It's your First Amendment right. They can't take that away from you. They will get destroyed in any court. And if they get through California, when it gets to the Supreme Court, they'll take that case because really? So this guy has to go to prison because he uncovered crimes and he reported it as a reporter would do? It'll never work.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, it'll just run its course and eventually you'll get paid out millions of dollars. I say go for it, Charlie. I'll bail you out of jail.
Okay. All right. I'm going to get to work on that right now. How much time have you got?
A little more. Come on, let's go.
All right. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. I think I already know what they would be, though. This is an opinion piece from the New York Post, which is the only conservative voice on the East Coast now, I think, at this point. And they started the California Post, and they're doing a great job here. Great job. Socialists prey on Americans' apathy, even in places you'd never expect. Thank you, Glenn Reynolds. Of course, we know what's going on in New York with Mom Dami. Are you seeing all this over there? Yeah, you are. Democrat Socialists of America, or as everyone keeps calling it, Democratic, which irritates the crap out of me as somebody who's a stickler for grammar. Democratic is a form of government. Those who worship it are called Democrats. But yet everybody now is all on board. Oh, it's the Democratic Socialists of America. It's just wordplay to make themselves sound more palatable instead of saying, well, we're Democrats. No, we're Democratic. No, you're not. You're a Democrat. You're a Democrat. President Trump's right. They're running the same play across the nation as they've run in New York, even in places you'd never expect, like my home in eastern Tennessee. Latest election success came in Colorado. Gen Z socialist Milat Quiros, 15-term incumbent Diana DeGatti in last week's Democrat primary. See, even this conservatives, though, calling it Democratic. Stop doing that, dudes. Anyway, that's the one in Colorado who was a flaming lefty, and some little goofball socialist, fresh-faced freak comes in, and Coloradans swarm to get her past the primary and to get her in. But this guy goes on to write about how it's apathy on the part of us. You know what that means? We're not showing up. We've quit. We've given up. We're not showing up to vote. But it's prevalent all across the country now. It's not just here in California, Sam. And
who's given up? Conservatives?
Conservatives are not showing up. We don't show up for primary elections. We don't show up for midterms. We'll show up for the presidential election, but we don't vote the entire ballot. I voted for Trump. That was my duty. Okay. And everything else just leaves open, sitting there for the left to come marching and roaring in. It's crazy. The apathy on the right.
Yeah, but they got it on the left too. And they don't even have near the amount of people. I mean, remember, you don't have 50% of the population as morons. You only have about 10. That's about it. Everybody keeps saying that. I'm telling you, trust me. You can't find, out of 100 people, 50 people that just are absolute idiots. So I wouldn't be concerned with that. I also, you really need to be concerned about the cheating because they don't have enough people to win anything. Maybe in, some of these blue areas, but for the most part, all the ones that Trump was winning and then he lost in those swing states, remember, 6 years ago. Yeah. Okay, that's all being fixed. It's all going to be fixed. I had a conversation with one guy, and he said to me, I was a poll watcher at one of these blue places, blue states. And he said, Sam, when you're a poll watcher, where do you think you stand? And I said, well, I would be standing right behind the people counting the ballots, right? Like right there within a couple feet, right here. Okay. He goes, yeah, that's what I would think too. They made me stand outside. That's what he told. I said, and you didn't beat the living hell out of somebody? I mean, I would have said, look, I'm the poll watcher. My job is to come in here. You're not coming in. Well, then you're not going to count votes.
I just drove up to Shasta County just last week to sit in on a group called New California State, which I think is absolutely the greatest answer for California is just to divorce the rest of it. New California. Paul Preston, that's right. I was there, and what the whole thing was those people who were involved in the election and were poll watchers giving testimony of what happened. And actually giving them a platform. I taped a lot of it, so I'm gonna be releasing that. But these are the stories that kept coming out, and how rudely they were treated, how poorly they
do the same. Always stoop to other people's level, Charlie. I don't know how many times I got to tell you that. Okay, it's amazing when you do that, the kind of respect you get. That's all I'm going to say. stop being somebody's bitch ever. Okay. Yeah. I'm not saying be rude, but the moment somebody's rude, you just do it right back. Meaner.
And even if that one person does it right back and the rest of them who think the way you do sit there and don't say anything and don't defend you or don't say, yeah, they are right, they're still going to try and get away with it. So we have to step up for each other. And
CharLee,
somebody's
all the voting is going to end up going to, where they're not going to be able to manipulate this again. I mean, I don't have any information that anybody else doesn't have. I know we published a story. I know they're working with Trump to get him to make some executive order. I don't remember. I mean, I was the first to publish it. We published it on your news. Wayne Root then talked about it a few days later. This all comes from John Goodman, Jerome Corsi, that thing, whatever it is. So whether or not, he does this, I would assume you have to do something. You have to do something in order to make sure we have secure elections, because if you don't, you're just going to go through the same crap all over again. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but something's going to come. If it doesn't, I'm moving to Puerto Rico. I'm never paying another tax again. I'm almost there anyway. I'm getting close. So
you're out. You're working remotely.
It won't matter to me. I'm going to still make my money no matter what happens.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
Don't stop yournews.com, please.
No, we'll never stop it.
Okay, good. It's a great place to get news. And what I really love about it is you can, as Sam puts it, hyper localize. You can just put in your zip code and you'll get people like me who are just covering local areas in your county and your zip code area, submitting stories to your news, and that will pop up. And you'll be able to keep up with high school football scores, all kinds of stuff on there that you're not even getting from your own local newspaper anymore, if it even still exists. So I love yournews.com, and you can invest there too, huh, Sam? How do you do it?
You can. So just for your audience, yournews.com is a hyper-local news content distribution platform. So it looks like the New York Times and the Miami Herald or Chicago Tribune or any daily news website. We all know they're going out of business, and it's not because they're lying. It's just because it's an antiquated product. It's being replaced with web. Everything is moving to creator-based platforms. Let me say it again, creator-based platforms. You know how many people are on YouTube? 61 million. You know how much traffic they had last month? 3 billion visitors. You know how many people are on Rumble? You're one of them, 250,000. You know how much traffic they had last month? 50 million people. Okay, it's creator-based platforms. Everybody knows TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble. All the creators use the platform. They have an audience that they're connected to, and they bring their audience to the platform. What nobody's ever done is fill the niche for local news, right? So like YouTube is not for local news. YouTube is, a platform where people do broadcast, shows. It could be, a cooking show or a sports show, but it's not really done for local news. Substack is, I think, a great model, but you can't put the church bake sale behind a paywall. Nobody's going to pay for the local stuff. So the void I fill is the collapse of legacy media, in particular, the local news. And those people don't have a home. So as I explain to, creators like you, CharLee, is if I go out of business, you don't need me. You got Rumble, right? If Rumble goes out of business, you're screwed. Okay. But they filled that void. But the guy that does the local stuff in any city, America, has nowhere to go. And that's the void that I fill. So currently we have now just over 6,100 news reporters. I want you to think of this. If you want to know why I'm not talking to you very much, CharLee, it's because we have so much content coming in and so much stuff happening. It's like, wow, I can't believe it. I'm like Associated Press. Everything is flowing into the platform and gets distributed out, but we're able to publish content to a specific city around a specific topic like sports, business, politics, entertainment. So, if it's the high school football game, it runs the sports news for the market. But if it's somebody's little league game, it runs the sports for that specific city because that's all it's relevant to. So we can distribute to a city And then advertisers could target down to one zip code. So this is the only part of the internet that has not been solved. And if you want to fix the problem, so anybody that's listening to me right now probably understands my frustration. There's two ways to fix this problem. One's through a civil war, which nobody wants. The second way is through controlling information. What our product does is it decentralizes the news business, which is the opposite of what we just experienced and what we are experiencing. And this is why you could get kicked off of your network because you're not playing ball with the network because you can cost them money. Everybody saw the Sinclair Broadcasting with the 50 TV saying the same thing. So somebody fed that information to the local markets, and then they were just reading it off a teleprompter. It's called centralized news. The people reading the teleprompter, their opinions are irrelevant. They could be reading this going, oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this, right? I mean, they could not believe, but I'm not going to give up my $300,000 a year job, just to tell them I'm not reading this. So it's centralized information where they're controlling the narrative. Our platform is completely decentralized. We fact check nothing. People say, well, I have a friend of mine that said to me the other day, well, how do you know if it's true? I go, well, how do you know if something on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram is true? Oh, you don't. Well, if he said, I want a news outlet where I know that everything is fact checked, I go, then build a time machine and go back 50 years. And because that ship has sailed. What you do is you find creators that you believe and you trust, and you follow them, and that's the stuff you consume. It's the world we live in today. So live in this world or figure out a way to get out of it. If you need help, I'll help you. Okay? I can't help you with anything else. This is the world we live in. So we have 6,000, a little more than 6,000 news reporters. Because of the scale of this, I have people that do NASCAR, Formula One, people do movie reviews, theater critics. I have people do restaurant reviews. I have the foodies, right, that just do local stuff, local restaurant, food stuff. All events, local things happening in the communities. The point is you could easily have 50 people a city, and there's 20,000 cities. You're talking about 1 million creators. Whoever does what I'm talking about, and I'm the only player, this is the next mainstream media. This is like a no-brainer. If you miss Facebook, if you miss TikTok, if you missed YouTube, if you missed Bitcoin, any of these things, this is a no-brainer because the whole world is coming my way. These people can't get jobs. It's either me or practice these words. Welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order? Because that's all you're getting. That's it. There are no jobs. And why do you think all these kids... You know how many creators TikTok and Instagram have? Over 100 million. Let me say it again. 100 million people. They all want to be creators because they think it's easy money. The problem is they have to find a following. They're competing against another 100 million people. And what are you going to discuss? And what I explain to creators is, and I'm just going to tell you something. Everybody wants to cover the Monday Night Football game, CharLee. They all want the national crap, right? They all do. My goal is I'm at this network locally, but I want to work my way up to ESPN. Well, good luck with that, okay?
Right.
So as in business, if you want to make money, you have to solve a problem for somebody. When football starts, CharLee, I don't care what game you're looking up. If it's the day after, how long will it take you to get the game results from that game on Google? 1 second, 1.5 seconds, right? I mean, it's just instantaneous, okay? Because there's 100,000 people reporting on it. But if you want the high school game, who's reporting on that? No, nobody. So who cares what you're covering? It's about building followers. If you solve people's problem, they will all follow you. So let's say, for the sake of argument, you're covering the high school sports in your community. 2 years go by, you got 20, 30,000 people following you. I mean, local, right? Which means you could do the Monday Night Football game. They'll still read it, right? The point is build an audience that is consuming your content because that's where your ad revenue comes from, right? And that's what you need to do. Fill that void and all the money will come. And that's what nobody has done. And that's what we're doing right now. So, while we're chatting, I know I have people that are trying to get in with me because these are all news reporters looking to establish their brand on my platform and basically block everybody else out. And the bigger we get, the better it will be for America, because now you're not going to have the networks behind them. And if you have cuckoo for Cocoa Puff reporters, nobody's going to read their stuff, and they're just going to leave on their own because nobody likes them. It's going to be market driven, which is how it's supposed to be, CharLee.
I agree.
So
in my career, I faced Howard Stern, which in the 90s was like the formidable foe. Oh no, Stern's coming to the market, and he would dominate, and they'd do an ad campaign, and he'd start bashing all the other local radio and television talent in the market and making fun of them, and it would work. Hi, Spike. I joined the show. Hi, Spike. Anyway, it would work. And because people would start talking about it, and they start listening to him. Well, it happened to me. 2 different markets I worked in, one large market and one major. And the major one was San Francisco. Oh, Stern's coming. And I had double-digit ratings. I was doing extremely well on the radio, and doing a morning show, Hot 97.7. And everybody's asking me, oh, what are you going to do about Stern coming to town? What are you going to do? And I'm going, I'm going to do what I've always done. You know why I'm going to beat Stern? Because I'm here. And I'm going to even more so be out in the community and talking about eating at this restaurant and going to this one event, checking this one thing out, talking about something about a neighborhood that it took a side street and I wound up going to, what a great neighborhood, or what's wrong with that house on the corner. That local, hyper local. And people responded. And Stern comes in, makes this big splash, and there's CharLee still at the top of the ratings. Until finally in San Francisco, Stern went away. He went away. He lost in San Francisco.
Wow.
He's still not in the market. Of course, he's not on broadcast radio anymore at all. Literally left the market because the radio station that was paying all that money to get Howard Stern was not seeing any kind of ROI. It was bleeding them dry. And it didn't work. And it was all because, and I'm solidifying Sam's point here, my friend. If you're thinking, yeah, I want to make it to ESPN, I'm going to be big time, start local. Become loved in your area and valued for what you bring to people who are in your area. They're your neighbors. I always called it marrying the market. No matter where I worked, I'd find out everything I could about that town, that city, that county, that area, the history of it, anything I could, because I married the market. I joined clubs. I became an ambassador for the Chamber of Commerce, wherever I was living and working. You marry the market. It really, really works. Sam's right. So 100%. Go to yournews.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page. That's where you can apply to become a contributor or a reporter, and you can invest. I think this is a very smart investment right now. If you're looking for something, everybody's talking about gold and silver. Too late. That ship's left. I don't have that kind of money, but I can buy in a platform that I think is the future.
Yeah. CharLee.
Blazing that trail.
A funny story. I'm talking to a former bigwig of NBC, and his claim to fame was firing your boy. Yeah.
NBC fired Stern.
Yeah, he was the guy who actually said, "You're fired. Get out."
WNBC.
Yeah. So
Stern called him what? Pig vomit in his book. He called him pig vomit. Called him that on the air too, I think.
So I'll be having more conversations with him this week, but yeah. So he's kind of.
I said howdy.
I will. Yeah. So what I do is inevitable. The interesting part about the whole thing is creator-based platforms. Every platform has, I believe, 4 things. You have a way for you to be able to upload content, right? Like on Rumble, you have a way for people to share content. You have a follow people where people can follow you. And then all platforms have a self-service ad platform, right? Is there anything else you could think of? I mean, those are the 4 mechanics of a platform.
Easy to look up, easy to find anything, easy to navigate. Because as much as I am so grateful to be on Rumble, and I'm glad that my friend who was a producer said, stick with Rumble, CharLee. That is the future. YouTube is going to implode because the way they've They're not going to get any better. They're owned by Google. Of course, they're not going to get better. You don't have any platform there. They'll wind up taking it away. He was completely right. Thank God for Rumble. But Rumble is really hard to navigate. I hope that they're fixing that, but they've had years now and they're not. You can't even use it like a search engine like you can on YouTube. That's why YouTube is the number one, as Sam has said before, the number one most utilized search engine in the world. Not Google, YouTube, owned by Google, because it's so easy to go, let's see, monkey raid on Cleveland Zoo. I type that in, and everybody who's reported on that or done any shows about that or made a little comedy video about that, they all pop up. You can't do that on Rumble.
They got a good product. They do have a good product. It's a shame that they're woke. And so basically anybody telling the truth gets booted off. Yeah. You need to become a liar. You'll make a fortune.
So Sam's website, yournews.com, is really easy to negotiate. And that's why I think it's going to win, or is winning as well, because of that.
It's hard to lose.
Hyper localize it. So I'm investing in that as soon as I get some spendable. If gasoline comes down to $3 a gallon, I'll take that extra money I planned for gasoline now to buy some stock in yournews.com. But you can do that all at the bottom of the page. Just scroll all the way down, yournews.com. There it is. Is that you right there? Is that you in that video?
That's me in that
video. It sure is. Look at this. Check it out.
My name is Sam Anthony, founder and CEO of Nico Ventures and Your News. The media industry is collapsing right in front of us. For decades, just a handful of institutions controlled the flow of information in America. Today, 6 corporations dominate the legacy media landscape. They controlled the narrative, they controlled distribution, and they controlled the advertising dollars. But the world has changed, and they didn't adapt. The reason legacy media is dying is not simply because people lost trust in it, although that certainly accelerated the decline. The real reason is much bigger than politics. Advertising money always follows attention, and attention has moved to platforms. YouTube has over 60 million channels. TikTok and Instagram each have over 100 million creators. Rumble has more than 250,000 channels. The future of media is not centralized networks. It's platforms powered by creators. YouTube changed media forever. Before YouTube, if someone wanted to become a broadcaster, they typically needed a journalism degree, a television network, expensive equipment, and corporate approval to reach an audience. YouTube changed that. It created technology where anyone could become a broadcaster, and the marketplace decided what content people wanted to consume. So the reason I was bringing this up to you is because I now know what the value of the digital property is. So if I get to 100,000 creators, that's literally 1 billion, CharLee. 1 billion. There's a 100% chance I do. 100. So the comical part is when you're an investor, you know, we're early stage. So you first have to ask your question. The question is, does this company fill a void? Like, is there a void? Like, does this product need it? Right? And if the answer is no, then it's a bad investment. If the answer is yes, okay. So then the next question is, will they get bigger or smaller in the next 2 years? And if the answer is smaller, it's a bad investment. If the answer is, if I'm going to go from 6,000 to 60,000, well, the investment's going to go from 60 million to 600 million. You make sense?
Yeah.
This is a grand slam. This is what every investor's wet dream would be. Literally. I mean, I don't need somebody to tell me, oh, well, you have to build it, you know, and I need this money to figure it out. Oh, it's all built, it's all operating, it's all running.
Yeah, it's going.
Don't know what to tell you.
For a while. As a matter of fact, when did you start this?
We've been doing it for a long time, but the real start of this was in the last couple of years when, you know, even though we've been, you know, doing this, it was never monetization. You know that. It was, so all this, when we did the first equity crowdfund called a couple of years ago, I raised almost 600 grand off of that. This one, I'm only doing a 365. I'll blow through this. The guys I'm talking to now are much bigger players. Like the guy that fired, he's a media guy. So him and I have had a couple conversations. We're going to go through this. He may decide he wants to make an investment. If he doesn't, I don't.
I've been trying to remember, and if you think that Sam's just sitting back and waiting for people to come to him, he called me. I don't even know how he found out about me. I don't remember. Somebody referred. Oh, I know this other dude. He's doing podcasts.
I
He's
call
out of
everybody.
California. And
I
he
call
called me. He called me and said, "Hey, I wanted to talk to you about that." He sent me actually an email, if I remember right. And I didn't even follow through because I'm like, oh boy, whatever. Everybody's always trying to sell me something. I know, because I've always been trying to sell you something, being in the media. So it was about the third time. I thought, well, I'm going to check this guy out. I'm going to get back to him. And we talked on the phone for like an hour and a half. And I don't talk on the phone very long. I don't like that. Then I had him on the show, and we've been off to the races ever since. That's probably 4 years ago now. I know it was during the whole COVID shutdown. But you're doing great work. Thank you, my friend. Thanks for being on yournews.com. Sam Anthony. Talk to you later, buddy.
You got it, Charlie. Thank you. And I'm going to have to go because I got to make some calls. I got a lot of
Okay.
people.
Tell the president I think he's doing a fine job.
Oh, I got to yell at him. I hope he did call me. All right. Goodbye.
See ya. And my website is charleesimons.com, where you can get yourself a mug. You can get yourself a hat. You know you want this hat. You know you want it. I got all kinds of hats and shirts and mugs. Like, let's talk about politics and religion, baby. Right there. charleesimons.com. Or you can just give. I have an anonymous donor that just made a very nice gift. Largest I've received since I've been doing this show, and it was just very humbling. Very humbling. And I'm trying to work my way up to get a newer computer because I'm limping this poor little girl along. I wish I could show her to you. She's it's an old Dell. It's an old Dell. Just got some more RAM added to it, and that's helped some. But I need a gaming computer that's got like a video card and all that stuff in it for streaming. See, I don't do gaming, online gaming. Are you kidding? What a waste of time. If you're into that, fantastic. Good on you. But I don't do all that. So, but I need a computer that can, to be able to do what I'm doing and be able to bring in elements like I just tried with Sam, and I had to restart things and so on. It's all because my computer's she's an old girl. She's been good. Last wedding I DJ'd, somebody spilled an entire glass of champagne on the keyboard. This is my lifeblood right here I'm using. DJing on the side is just a little supplemental income. This is my job. This is my work right here, this girl. Spilled an entire glass of champagne on it. I tipped it upside down as quickly as I could, trying to shake out the liquid, shut it down, wiped it down. Ta-da! She's still working. A great computer, but I need a new one. So you can help me, please. CharLeeSimons.com. I'll always keep this computer, though, because this is kind of like the beginning. This one right here. CharLeeSimons.com. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America, but most importantly, America, bless God.